First, though, during the month of May, we are excited to be able to help Kids Shine with the Niagara Children's Center. And we've been getting to know a lot about the center in the last few weeks, and excited to get to know a little bit about our next guest and her family, as she knows firsthand how important the Niagara Children's Center is to our region. Her name is Francine Faulkner. Good morning, Francine.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate, that firsthand look into the Niagara Children's Center and what it's like for parents who have children that end up being patients there. So, Francine, why don't you take us back to 2016, the month of October? You're expecting, all excited for the arrival of your new baby. Tell us what happened on October 17th.
So October 17th was a planned C-section. I was going in 8 a.m. It wasn't like other births where, it takes you by surprise. We knew she was coming. We knew exactly what we were supposed to do. C-section time came around. Everything was fine. And just before 9 o'clock, a little Harper came into this world and turned our world upside down, needless to say.
All right. So now you said it, it's planned C-section. So you knew baby was coming. Was there anything during the pregnancy that was different? Any indication before Harper came along that you might have a little bit of a bumpy road ahead?
Absolutely not. We had all the testing done. I was what you called a geriatric pregnancy. I was turning 40. So they did all the testing. Everything came back normal. When Harper was born, she passed most of her tests except for her hearing test. Thought no big deal. We can deal with that. And it wasn't until we got her home that we realized that there was some issues with feeding. And, the ball didn't get rolling until Harper was almost 2 months old.
Wow. Okay. So you brought Harper home, and it was just kind of like, it's difficult to have a newborn. So, it's hard to parse out if this normal, difficult newborn stuff, something you can fix in a day or a week or something like that, and something that's going to be going on a little bit longer. At that 2-month mark, what started to happen, Francine?
After many attempts to see my pediatrician, and unfortunately, I do realize that they see a lot of moms that, are a little nervous, a little scared. I just felt like I was being brushed off, so I self-admitted. I took Harper to McMaster Children's Hospital, where she was admitted at that time for failure to thrive. They realized that Harper wasn't gaining the weight like she should have been. The biggest issue is Harper continuously threw up her food. She was a wet baby, very angry from the start, always uncomfortable. You could tell she was in pain most of the time. And we just kept getting told it was reflux. It wasn't until that 2-month mark that we took her to McMaster that we started working on new formulas, working with an OT. That's where we initially got set up with the staff from the Niagara Children's Center.
Okay. And so now Harper ended up being diagnosed with a very rare disorder. It's so rare, it doesn't have a name and hasn't been seen since 1977. Take us back to when this starts to come out, when, what are you just completely in shock?
In awe. So that diagnosis came out when Harper was almost 1 year old. So now we've been working 10 months to try and figure out what is going on with her. Fighting doctors continuously. This is not just a newborn baby with reflux. There is something going on. Finally got into genetics. They did the testing. They sat me and Dad down, and they were like, so here's the situation. And basically when I asked the simple questions of what does this mean for her, the answers were, I don't know. And
it has to be so frightening as a parent.
My second question was, will she live to see adulthood?
Oh.
And the answer was, we don't know. So that was extremely, there was some testing that went on after that with me and Dad. We had to go and get genetic testing done to figure out what was the cause of the delays. Luckily, Harper is a happy, almost 6-year-old who is starting to thrive, so she is proving these doctors wrong. But the frustrating thing is anything that does happen with her, they seem to go back to the genetic disorder. So.
Well, and that's it. You know, Francine, we can't sympathize to the extent of what you have been through, but I think all of us have had an experience of feeling like we're not being listened to and we're not being helped in the medical system, unfortunately. So, you know, that part definitely hits all of us. And then, you know, you can just multiply it by 1,000,000 when it comes to a precious little baby and little Harper. So yes, that you mentioned getting to the Niagara Children's Center, and you've been working with them now for 3 years. How did that start?
So Harper initially came home from MAC at 2 months, and we got set up with our occupational therapist and a dietitian. I didn't realize at the time that our occupational therapist was a staff member at the Children's Center. So it wasn't until Harper was a year, so that goes into 2017, that we got introduced to our entire team at the Niagara Children's Center, which included our speech therapist, physio. Our occupational therapist stayed on with us at the center, and we worked with them endlessly for the next, would be 3 years until Harper started school. Just trying to get her to catch up, meet those milestones. Just trying to get her to that next step, whatever that was.
What was it like to finally... Yeah, Francine, what was it like at that time? You know, you're feeling so unheard from other medical professionals to have a literal team working with you. What was that like?
Oh, my God, the comfort and support that I got from the center, the staff members, every time I was frightened something wouldn't happen. This is a baby that we thought wouldn't walk, talk, maybe possibly eat on her own. She had a feeding tube. It was actually just removed this past March. Just watching her meet these milestones with the support of the center. They knew what she needed. They had the expertise, equipment that we could try. Harper had, I think, 7 walkers that we trialed that the center has on hand for us to try instead of putting forth the money and finding something that doesn't work. So Harper ended up with one of the simpler walkers that worked for her, which was great. But then, let's go back, I think, just before she entered school, she got the stability on her legs and started walking on her own. So, but it's because of the work that the center puts in and all the advantages that they have. They have the equipment, they have the knowledge. They've seen these kids and they know what these kids are capable of, right? As mom, there's many times I was just like, okay, she's just not going to do it. And we're going to figure that out. And the center's like, nope, we're going to push her. Harper doesn't like new and Harper doesn't do change. That's what we have always said. And they pushed her past her comfort zone and that's made all the difference.
Wow. Now, you mentioned Harper being in school. I mean, that just, for any parent, it's a huge milestone to watch their kid go off to school for the first day. That must have been a really emotional one.
Yes. It was hugely emotional. Luckily, we are one of the parents that got accepted into the school at the Niagara Children's Center. So Harper still does attend the center just on the school side and still does receive all the therapy she did on the center side. It's just with the teen does switch over at the school age.
Francine, before 2016, before Harper came into your life, what did you know about the Niagara Children's Center?
Absolutely nothing. I didn't even know the center existed.
Well, you know, and I think that's the important part and why I'm enjoying so much getting to know about the Children's Center this month as we help kids shine and raise money for the center, because that's it, right? It's just you're a perfect example of a parent who you go through life, you don't know this kind of amazing service, and these amazing people are here in our community. And when you needed it, they were there. And so that's why I think, these conversations and when we take an opportunity to shine a spotlight on the Niagara Children's Center, it's so important. Do you think that Harper would be where she is today without it?
Absolutely not. Mom and Dad would have probably just been very comfortable in keeping Harper in her comfort zone and meeting her daily needs, instead of, nobody wants to hear their baby cry or be uncomfortable or, pushed in any way. And I don't think we would have done that. And without the support of the center and the center parents, let me shine some light on the center parents, who are a community in ourselves, who help each other through the daily struggles. There is a whole support team. We got a question, we can reach out and be like, hey, what's going on here? And there are parents who have seen it or have a suggestion or know a number you can call. So without them, Mom would have had a mental breakdown a long time ago. And we're just forever grateful.
Okay, so bring us to today. Harper is 6 years old. What's she like?
Spunky. She's very happy. Full of energy. Dad and I always say if we put a pedometer on this kid, we don't know how many steps she'd reach in a day. She never stops moving. Just the light of our life. She is such a happy kid, and her laugh will light up a room. She is our world right now.
Well, you know what? I just want to applaud you and Dad, and I'm sure the rest of your family who've all been there through this journey for you. I'm so glad that the Niagara Children's Center was there, that Harper found the need that the help that she needed, and that you guys did as well, because she's important to this world, and we really appreciate you taking some time to tell us about her.
No problem. If I could just mention one more thing, because we are doing a fundraising initiative for the Help Kids Shine campaign. I am doing a vendor summit next Saturday. So Saturday, May 21st, 9 to 4 at St. Andrew's Church in Niagara Falls. We have about 25 plus vendors who have signed on to come out and support the Children's Center, food trucks, and it's going to be a great day. We just hope we can get as many people out as possible.
And that would be the NCC Vendor Blender. You have a fun name, Francine, so I know it's going to be a hit. I love that.
Thank you very much.
All right. So, yes, you can find it on Facebook, NCC Vendor Blender. And next weekend, it's going to be the long weekend. Get out there and enjoy and raise money for this excellent cause. Francine, so great to meet you today. Thank you for your time.
You as well. Have a great day.